For me, I'm very particular about nation building and the need for every one of us to know that we are critical stakeholders in helping to rebuild Nigeria. And if we are critical stakeholders, it does mean that certain times when government or government agencies take certain actions and that are in line with what the law says, we should be able to, as citizens, commend them. And at other times when they take steps or actions that are contrary to what we know the law says, we should to call them out, because a critic, like it's usually said, help you to dig your path to success. Taking a look at the EFCC, I think that those managing that agency today should be very much conscious of the part of their predecessors. EFCC have been over the years involved in different controversies, and if you go back to time and mention the pioneer of EFCC, chairman of EFCC, Nuhu Ribadu, until at this very moment, you realize that the chairman have ended up in very controversial circumstance. Whoever is given the responsibility to man this body should be aware of what Nigerians call the banana peel. Like we used to say about the Senate, the banana peel that causes the leaders in there to slip and fall. There is will I say an unwritten or a hidden banana peel in EFCC that people should be very much aware of. And that brings me to this issue between the back and forth between the EFCC and the ex-governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. In as much as I think a lot of people agree that Yahaya Bello should have his day in court, because so a lot of people felt that he is taking some actions that are contrary to the law. We should also respect his fundamental human right, because as citizens, that is one thing that if you defend the fundamental human right of the other person, someday it might be your turn and you will call for your fundamental human right to be defended. And I think that the way and manner in which the EFCC is going about the arrest and prosecution of Yahaya Bello, I think there might be actions that are suggestive of his fundamental human right being abused. And for instance, the EFCC went to court with this case, and we understand that once your matter is in the court, every party seizes action to the extent that you are not supposed to discuss the matters that are contained in the briefs you have brought before the court. But we saw an EFCC chairman that went to brief the press and spoke a lot of things about what he's alleging that this man has done. Every citizen must be considered innocent. That is what the law says, until proven guilty. And when proven guilty is not when the prosecutory agency proves you guilty. It is when a court of competent jurisdiction proves you guilty that you're actually guilty. So we would say now that Yahaya Bello is innocent. No court has adjudicated on this matter, so he's innocent, and no other person, no agency has a right to find him guilty before the judge will find him guilty. And to the extent of certain statements made by the chairman, you should not even go to that extent of saying that you would rather resign than not to see this particular case to logical conclusion. Now, good determination on the part of the EFCC, but I wish also that you were able to say the same thing about others that have been prosecuted long before him and we have not found justice. There are a lot of military generals, and there are a lot of ex-governors, there are a lot of ex-politicians that the EFCC has profiled their cases and they are still there. I wish that he will come out and say, every case before me, every case before the EFCC, will start bringing them out and not shielding anybody. Now, there are some people that are in this particular government that we know that EFCC has established certain cases against them, and nothing has been heard about those cases. Now, for me, selective justice is abuse of justice. Selective prosecution is abuse of the prosecutorial process. Every human being has a right to fair hearing. And they usually say, the law of justice and equity. Now, equity simply says justice must be done, but it must also be seen to have been done. Now, in the case of EFCC versus Yahaya Bello, is there equity? Do people see that justice has been done? Do people see that you're taking the right steps? And those are the things that this man, the chairman, and the EFCC must be very conscious of.